Hi everyone, welcome to depression-youarenotalone.com. We're back again this week. Today is, what is today, August? Anybody know today's date? August
21st.
August 21st. August 21st, 2021.
I have no idea what it is.
To my right, of course, is the lovely Shannon.
Hi, hello.
And behind the scenes, the lovely John. You want to say hi?
No.
Okay, well,
I don't think he'll ever. He's
one
not.
day.
No, he's not ever.
One day,
He's
one
not
day
ever going to say hi.
He's going to do it. So, let me first. We have to go back to last week's episode because there are some things I want to clarify. I had told you that I have 2 dogs and 5 cats, which is correct.
That is correct.
And then later I said I have 5 dogs and 2 cats, which was not correct.
No.
So it was the 2 dogs, 5 cats. And my lovely wife here said to me after, you said we have 5 dogs.
I would love to have 5 dogs.
So thanks for
thanks
for having my back on it.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that one.
I went back and saw the video and I'm like, oh my God, really? Did I say that? What was that about? Why didn't you say anything?
I don't know.
You don't usually have a problem correcting me.
I know. That was my fault.
No, it was my fault. I messed up, but you could have kind of bailed me out on that one. I also, when I talked about what I do about getting up out of bed, not staying in bed, and I want to make sure there's no confusion there. I did say it was very difficult, and I also did say it was very easy. Now, I think most of you would pick up on it that I meant that it was difficult to first do it, and then I said it was easy the second, third, fourth time. So yeah, it was difficult to get myself to get out of bed, but then it became very easy, and the reason for that is because I saw success in doing it, right? And success is very motivating. When you do something that had positive results, it's very motivating to do it again. Except for marriage. That
Gosh.
the first one didn't work and you're doing it again. It's like, wait a minute, what? Did I think this through?
Who are you?
I don't know. Again, we're tired again this week because last night we actually had a lot of fun last night. Sitting outside, we're listening to music.
Yeah.
Love listening to music, watching music videos. It's just a blast. And the mosquitoes, the gnats, the no-see-ums.
Fun.
The whole family's there.
Everybody's there.
I'm sitting there slapping myself left and right, but I get to spend time with you. I get to spend time with you. And they don't bite you for some reason. They go after me. I don't know.
Yeah, they bite me.
Do they?
Yeah, I have welts on me.
Okay. Well, yeah. They're horrible. We thought of doing some episodes maybe outside. We have a nice area outside, but if we did that now with all these mosquitoes, gnats, and no-see-ums, within 10 minutes you'd be looking at skeletons. So that's not going to work, at least this time of year for us.
Yeah.
And this has been probably the worst year I remember as far as bugs.
Yeah, they're bad.
Just impossible. So, I had mentioned in the last episode I was going to talk about panic attacks because I, of course, have panic attacks, which are, as I said, they're wonderful. They're a lot of fun. I had my first panic attack. I've been through depression, was going through depression before I even had my first panic attack. When I had it, I had no idea what was going on. It was my daughter's birthday party. My middle daughter's birthday party when she was a little girl. And a great day, all the kids in the house, family, everybody's having a good time, and just out of the blue, I started to sweat. I started to sweat profusely. My chest started to tighten up. I got dizzy. I had never experienced that, so immediately I thought, I'm having a heart attack. So I told my wife, not this one, the other one, it's the ex-wife. That was wife at the time. I've only got one wife at a time. That's a handful right there. But she immediately called 911, of course, and I was terrified. I thought I was having a heart attack. They rushed me to the hospital, and paramedics were great guys. They were actually messing with me and joking with me and trying to, get me to relax, saying, hey, buddy, you're not having a heart attack, so don't, you're not having a heart attack. I remember being in the ambulance and getting these rushes, like like if you're going down on a roller coaster, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just, they would come and go, and even though I know they were trying to comfort me, wasn't really comforting because it was terrifying.
Yeah.
And then being put in, when I got to the hospital emergency room, they realized, all right, this guy's not having a panic attack. I think they gave me something to relax me, I guess, and I was in the hallway, which every time I go to the emergency room, I don't make, unless I'm not in the emergency room all the time, but the few times I've gone,
You're in the
I always
hallway.
end up in the hallway. It's you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, one time, remember I went for, what was it, a year and a half ago. I'm laying in a hallway, and this guy comes over, he goes, oh yeah, I'm going to take you up to the second floor or whatever. I'm thinking, oh, great.
That was a panic attack, wasn't it?
I think it was panic attack, and I had a blood pressure spike.
Oh, yeah. You had a little
So,
combination of both, I think.
right. So,
Yeah.
he takes me up to the second floor. I'm thinking, oh, great, I'm going to spend the night here. So something's wrong, and nobody's telling me anything. I get there. Nurse is like, oh, are you Mr. So-and-so? I'm like, no, I'm not. Oh. And she tells the guy that you brought the wrong patient.
Yeah, didn't you get wheeled up to the second floor?
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. I said, actually, you know what? I don't mind because you have me in the hallway over there and people are rushing back and nurses and stuff. I feel like they're going to start putting things on top of me, too, while they're working on patients. Use me as a bench.
A table.
So I actually enjoyed the ride. It was a nice ride. But, oh, by the way, folks, let's talk about medication. So my doctor asked me, what medication are you taking for high blood pressure? Because I have high blood pressure too. I mean, because certain things, just cause high blood pressure in your life. Oh, did you see that? There's
a fly.
Fly back there. So my doctor, not my doctor, but the emergency room doctor, actually was really great. And the nurses, I don't know what I can say about the nurses that have been in our lives with our parents being ill. They've just been like amazing people. I don't know how you guys do it. I really don't know how you guys do it. You're just amazing what you do. Some of the doctors, have a hit or miss. With the doctors, hit or miss. But anyway, so this doctor asked me, what are you taking for your high blood pressure? And I told him, and he said, oh yeah, you're not going to be able to get that anymore because that's been discontinued for causing cancer.
Yeah.
So that's great. Hey, we're going to get your blood pressure down. Yeah, we're going to kill you with something else, but the blood pressure's going to come down. And the headaches and the dry mouth and all that were wonderful too. Mm-hmm. So whenever you're taking something that does not agree with you, go to your doctor and get on something else if you have to, because you shouldn't be miserable taking something for this, but you're miserable now you're dealing with that. So again, I felt better knowing, of course, they gave me something where I was, just wasted. They could have told me, hey, the hospital's burning down. I'd be like, yeah, that's right. Well, get to me whenever you have a chance. Because I'm in a hurry. I'm feeling fine. And then what happened after that first panic attack? Another one. I went to the hospital another time again.
Yeah.
The second time, same thing, just for no reason, sweating, chest pain. I could, blurry vision, dizzy. It is just a horrible feeling. And those of you who have panic attacks, I don't have to tell you, you know that. I mean, you definitely know that. Even friends or family that have seen someone having a panic attack, it's very, very scary.
Yeah.
I remember being on the highway. This was another thing that which you think about it, this doesn't make sense. So I'm getting off on the off ramp to get off the highway, and there's a red light in front of me. So to my left, there's the wall, right? And there's cars next to me, and the light's red. I would get a panic attack because I felt trapped.
Yeah.
I would tell myself, okay, the light's going to turn green in about a minute, but I would start.
It was uncontrollable.
I was short of breath.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where if there were 2 lanes on the off-ramp, I would always get in the right lane. That way, if I really was panicking, I can just turn right, because I couldn't turn left until the light turned green, just to escape that. And, eventually,
Did you learn to deal with them as time went by? So
I did, and it was, for me, it was difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. It was difficult. I then would have the fear of having a panic attack when I wasn't having a panic attack, and then would get one.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this is a cycle that is just absolutely horrible. Now, I had medication for it, which I had to take early on. I had to take it often.
Yeah.
And the medication I take, which I always told you folks, I'm not mentioning names of medications because I don't want to discourage or encourage anybody to take something, because what I take might not work for you.
Right.
And I also, if I tell you I stopped taking medication, I'm not going to say I stopped taking this, and then if you're taking it, you might say, oh, well, I'm going to stop taking it too. I don't want to ever do that. You always consult with your doctor. Always be strategic about those things and cautious. But yeah, so I would take the medication often in the beginning because I had to. And then I realized that I'm a zombie.
Yeah.
I am now a zombie almost on a daily basis, because when I would take this is the thing, if I took the medication when I was fine, it would just relax me a little bit. But if I took the medication while I'm having a panic attack, it would wipe me out. Mm-hmm. The reaction, how my body reacted with the same pill was just amazing.
Yeah.
But if you're like that and you're someone who wants to do things, you want to be active. Oh, and remembering things, short-term memory. What was I just doing?
I've noticed that. I've noticed that with you, with them.
With or without the medication?
With the medication.
Oh, with the medication.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what happens. It's
absolutely.
Like, what was I just doing?
Yeah.
Oh, screw it. Now I don't want to do anything. That's what used to happen.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm a creative person. I'm active. I'm always trying to think of things, to not think of things I shouldn't be thinking of. You know what I mean? Trying to have nice thoughts about doing this or doing that, to not have those other thoughts that I've had, to stay away from them. And then when I would have a massive panic attack and took this medication, I couldn't focus on anything. I couldn't remember if I just ate or not. It was a mess. So what I did is I learned to fight them. You do. You see what I do, right? I still have the medication. I have that medication. I break them in half.
Yeah.
So that way I have double. And then I rarely ever take them.
Yeah.
So
last resort.
They last me a long time.
They do.
I don't want that crutch of, oh, I think I'm getting a little anxiety. Let me get my pill.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that.
Mm-mm.
I'm not doing
You fight through it.
I fight through it
do.
successfully most of the time.
Most of the time.
Not 100%, but nothing's 100%, right?
Mm-mm.
It's, but that's what I do, and that's something for you to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. We'll talk about panic attacks more, but if I get into it too much, I'll probably have a panic attack. So I don't know if I want to do that.
No.
Now, I wanted to talk about something today, and this is things that don't make sense. Mm-hmm. And I just told Shannon a little bit of what I want to talk about, and you asked me, well, why are you going to talk about that, right? What does that have to do with, you asked, what does that have to do with mental illness? And this is why I feel like I always need to explain to people, when I say this, and this, it's to make a point. Okay?
I knew you were going to make a point.
Okay. All right, yeah, okay, well, I'm glad we're on the same page. To make a point, so you might hear me say, oh, is he talking about religion, which I don't get into religion? I don't touch that. You have your faith, it brings you joy, brings you comfort. That's a beautiful thing. If you have no faith, that's fine too. That's your life. No one has a right to tell anyone, you need to do this, or you can't believe that, or you can't believe that. Okay, you do your thing, it's all good. But there are things that don't make sense to me, and in most cases because they just don't make sense, because they can be proven as ridiculous. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because there are consequences, and unfortunately there are other people that suffer those consequences. We have people that believe anything. We have flat earthers that believe the earth is flat. Okay, you're laughing, but this is true, isn't it, John?
It is flat.
They believe the Earth is flat like a frisbee, or
The
a
floor's flat. It's got to be flat.
frisbee, or a pizza. Okay. Actually,
No, frisbees
Pizza
aren't
sounds
flat.
good, doesn't it?
Frisbees aren't flat. They got a little round to them.
all right, tomato. I mean, you know what I mean, right? The Earth is flat, and they'll ready to fight you on it. Okay, this is gonna get ugly. The Earth is flat. I know it's flat. Okay, how do you know that? I know. Oh, you're one of those, you just know things. Beautiful. I mean, that's freaking awesome. But the Earth being flat like a pizza, really? And pizza right now sounds really
I told you it
We've got a
did.
place by us that has pizza that's just amazing.
Pizza.
Now, if there's, of course, you know what's going to happen, right? If there's somebody from New York watching this, okay, you don't know what pizza is.
Or Chicago,
You want
for that
pizza?
matter.
You want pizza? You got to go to Tony's over on Fifth.
Oh,
You always get
gosh.
that, you know. But you always get that. But listen, this pizza is just amazing. But I'm afraid if we go get that, I'm going to have to get a cannoli, and I'm trying to
lose weight.
and I'm losing weight. So it's probably going to be a bad
No,
idea.
we're not going to do pizza or cannoli.
And there's another guy. Oh, cannolis. For cannolis, you got to go over to.
Luigi's on
Yeah, right.
10th.
You don't know for cannolis. Okay, I understand the only good food is where you live. And I'm not putting down people from New York. Hell, we lived in New York and we have family in New York. They're terrible, but you know. No, we love our family in New York. They're a blast. But so you have people that believe the Earth is flat. Okay, I guess there's a railing or something around the edge. I would think, right? Because you get to the edge.
Oh,
and-
yeah, you'd fall off.
I mean, especially if you have one of those friends that's a prankster and gives you a nudge, and then what? You know? Or maybe you can go to the edge and throw pennies out there and make wishes. If you want to believe these things, okay, believe these things, right? Believe whatever you want. We're going to get to that point that I want to make. So let's talk a little bit. It's going to be kind of politics, but this is not to be about politics. And this is not just in the United States. So many people think, oh, in the United States, well, this is where people are crazy and believe this. Okay, that's all over the world. Mm-hmm. And if for us to know that, we have plenty of history books here, by the way. If any of you want to read them, or pay Shannon, she'll read them for you.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, probably not. Well, we have to see what they're willing to pay. Plenty of history books. In the history of mankind, there are always people that believe anything and everything. Mm-hmm. And we don't have to get into the danger and the harm that's caused throughout history, right? Wars, genocide, because of blind followers. Let's say that dictator had minions that did the work for him. And there was always a price to pay. We have in this country, so we'll talk about this country where we live. We've had people, okay, we're going to get to this, right? The mask. Who, oh yeah, the COVID, it's a joke. It's a hoax. You still hear people say that. Now, for those of you that believe that, let me ask you this. For those that used to say, oh, it's a hoax to hurt the president's re-election. And when the election is over, we all heard this, I heard this, heard a lot of people say it, it's over. Miraculously, COVID is gone. This is just a hoax to hurt the president's re-election. Now, did it turn out to be true? You believed it. You were wrong. Okay? It's easy to say, all right, you know what, I was wrong. But you don't do that. Many don't do that. Okay, what's the next thing? Tell me something else for me to believe. Okay, you know, who's going to pay for that wall? You believed it. You were wrong. So my question is this. How many times do you have to hear something until you say, okay, I believe this. That was a lie. I believe this. That was a lie. And go down this list of things you were told and you believed and turned out to be lies. Is there a point where you're going to say, okay, I'm not falling for this anymore. This is just, I feel like an idiot because I'm I keep believing the information I'm getting from these sources, and it keeps being proven that it's not true, but I then believe the next thing. Okay, so how is that important to mental health, like you were asking? How does that come into play? Because there are people in your world that can be victims to your mentality. I'm not wearing this. Oh, I'm not going to wear this. Because this is a hoax. So I'm going to go see my in-laws, visit my in-laws, spend time with them. I don't wear masks anymore.
You're not visiting my in-laws,
Okay?
Alan.
I don't wear masks anywhere. I'm not worried about infecting them because this isn't real. So then I go see my in-laws. I have COVID, don't even know it, and I infect them and one of them passes away. There are consequences. So to say, well, this doesn't apply to this, everything applies to everything. How people think when there are others around them and relying on them. All of this comes into play. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here listening to you.
Okay. So that's a point I want to make is if you constantly get your information from the same source, that's constantly lying to you. Mm-hmm. But I like hearing what I like hearing.
Right.
You have a network, a major network that has someone on there who that network themselves say there is no reasonable person that would believe him.
Right.
Their employee who's on TV spewing absurdities. People that have on TV, on networks that are telling people this. It's not real. No masks. You don't need to wear masks. It's not real. And people are dying. We just tragically lost someone who was anti-mask and attacking this, who died of COVID. What does that say? Oh, it's all fake. It's all fake. It's all fake. Oh, yes. Now I'm dying of COVID. That I was saying was fake. We're going to take a break because we're going to get back into this because, and that break is for us, not for you.
It's so I can go to the bathroom.
She can go to the bathroom, and what was I going to say? Okay, yeah.
We're going to take a break.
Bathroom, but John has just everything will be together, be fine. So we'll be back in 1 second, blink of an eye. We're back. And Shannon forgot to go to the bathroom.
I did.
So, genius. Should be flying past us when we're done.
Yeah.
So I was talking about people that believe things that are proven to not be true, and then you believe the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. Okay, great. I don't have a problem with that. You have a right to believe whatever you want to believe, even though it's proven to not be true. You believe the earth is flat? Believe the earth is flat. Okay. I'm sure you have your proof. Yeah, but also we've had the billionaires that have had the luxury of going into space, which that's all really great. That you guys put that money in and you can go into space, and now other billionaires and multimillionaires can travel into space and pay millions of dollars for it. That's just awesome. It really is. We'll get to world hunger and disease and things like that later on ourselves.
That's not important.
We'll take care of those things ourselves. And congratulations to your employees who you're always trying to get rid of, because you don't want employees. You want to automate everything so you don't have people working anymore.
Yeah.
So you could make your money where you have your generational wealth, where so many generations after you don't have to lift a finger. And that's just wonderful. It's great.
It's great for the employees' mental health too.
Yeah, and this just cracks me up. I swear, I think about these things in bed sometimes, and not to mention the things you do that make absolutely no sense whatsoever, and the things that I do too, right?
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Exactly. Like I had my cell phone in my hand one time. Yeah, I'm walking around with my cell phone. I'm looking
Where's
for
my cell phone?
I'm looking for my cell phone with my cell phone in my hand, but then I realized
I've done that with glasses in my
I
hand.
can call it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that I had it. I
Yeah,
realized
yeah,
that I
yeah,
can
yeah.
call it and then listen for it to see if it rings. And then I just said, Okay, that just happened.
Yeah, it did.
I'm not ashamed to say it. Everybody,
There's a drug for that.
we all do crazy things. But as long as we realize it and say, okay, I was, and laugh about it, right? You don't put yourself down or you laugh about it.
You have to.
But, okay, you want to say this is politics? Okay, it's politics because everything is politicized. How can we discuss mental health, anything without, everything is politicized. This is politicized. In our state, one of the biggest joys I'm going to have in my state is voting out my governor, who's totally against this.
Yeah, it's,
If a poor person enters a store and they steal food, not because they're thieves, because they're desperate, they're hungry, and get caught, hey, you're going to get you for shoplifting. When politicians play these things down and people are dying, and they're dying at higher percentages in their states,
yeah.
where do they belong? I'm not thinking prison. I'm thinking hell is where you belong. Now, also, of course, we can say, well, people should be responsible for themselves, right? If you're going to blindly believe, kind of on you. Yeah, it is. That's the purpose of what I do. Is not to tell you to do things, right? I always said this. I'm not telling people, okay, you're going to do this. We'll leave that to the infomercials. Those guys that walk around with a little microphone there, and walk around, and then at the end, and they have the people in the front row, applauding, and then because they're paid to be there. And then when you walk out, of course, there's a collection of DVDs for you to buy, and all. I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm doing. I'm sharing my experiences and giving you advice to think for yourself. Just like some of you blindly follow what you hear that's proven wrong time after time after time after time. Don't blindly follow me either. Think, right? I'm listening to this guy. I'm going to think about what he's saying. I'll agree with him on certain things I might not. Fine, that's how it should be. She doesn't believe anything I say, and we're still together. Right?
Oh, gosh.
And by the way, I'm not against millionaires and billionaires, so if you think, he's anti this, no, I'm not. If somebody said to me, hey, I'm going to give you $20 million, I'm not going to say, how dare you? How dare you insult me with that? Because if you did, I can actually afford you and a mistress.
Oh, my gosh.
I would imagine a mistress is not cheap.
Oh, God.
Neither are you, by the way. What's wrong with that? Hey, I'm going to Barbados for the weekend with my mistress. I want this taken care of by the time I get back. Remember that? What movie that was from?
Yeah. That's funny.
So, I'm thinking about the movie. I was actually cracking up. But this is dangerous. As I said, someone's poor, steals food, shoplifting. You're going out in handcuffs. You didn't steal a watch or a flat screen TV, because if you do that, you probably should go to jail. You stole food because you're desperate. But these people on TV, these politicians, people have died. I remember a lady on TV. This is maybe 2 years ago. It's so hard to keep track of time.
That was last year.
Keep track of time with this pandemic. I swear it's thrown everything off. Where she was crying on TV saying, we didn't believe in COVID. We were told by our president this is a hoax. And she was crying because she said, my husband and I contracted COVID. I recovered. My husband died. There are consequences. So, if you want to blindly follow, for starters, let's try to be logical about things. You listen to a politician who has no medical background about a disease or about a pandemic. You do not trust the doctors and scientists, but you trust someone who has no medical background. Starting point right there. If you're constipated, do you call a plumber? Do you think that's ridiculous? Is that more ridiculous than listening to politicians instead of scientists. When I hear doctors and nurses saying in the ICU as they're treating someone for COVID, that person is being argumentative that I don't have COVID, it's not real. That's why I said, let's talk about things that don't make sense to me. None of this makes sense. We're in a world, if you start a sentence with some people and use the word equality, you've lost them right there. That is like saying a four-letter word. It's a nasty word, the word equality. Shouldn't we all be like equality? Absolutely, yeah. Equality's great. We want equality. No. If you talk about, use the word clean, clean air, clean water, no, environment, don't talk about the environment, no. Because politicians told me there's no such thing as climate change. They're not scientists, they're radio hosts or TV hosts that are not scientists saying it's not real. The scientists say it, but you don't believe the scientists, you believe them. Genius. That is just genius. Right?
I hear you.
If I have a medical condition, I'm going to go on I'm going to go on Angie's List or something like that and see if I can find a handyman to come and see if he can fix me. Right? I'm having chest pains. Maybe I can get a handyman to come over and take care of this for me. Oh, that sounds ridiculous. Really? Is that more ridiculous than having politicians telling you things that, and they don't know what they're talking about? They're spoon-feeding you BS. And people have died, are getting sick, and continue to die. Is that not a consequence? Now, like you and I were talking about, yeah, but people need to be, like we said, right? Responsible for themselves. I agree. But the damage these people are costing, where are the consequences for them? Where? And these people that tend to believe whatever they hear because they only watch one source of BS. And listen, if you want BS, you can find it anywhere. But you have to have that source of BS. Same people that mental illness is not real.
Yeah, but following people blindly, that's a form of mental illness.
Yeah. There are consequences for that. There are consequences for blindly following, for not thinking. You're not thinking. Wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. You know, when you were told, I'm going to go back to this because it's something if you were someone who believed it, you should be in a position to say, wow, yeah, I was gullible on that one. Coronavirus is a hoax. It's going to end like that when the election's over. You'll see. It didn't happen. You believed it. Aren't you in a position now to say, okay, they got me on that one. Yeah, I fell for that. Obviously, it's not true. It's really bad right now. And the election's over. So you kind of fell for that. You were a fool. You believe these things. If you're one of those people, again, you know what I'll always go back to is kids in the house with someone like that. No, it's not real. No, that's not real. That's not real. This person told me that's not real. Oh, okay, what does that person do? Oh, he's on so-and-so network. Oh, is he a doctor? No. Oh, but he told you that this condition or that condition isn't real. By the way, we have one of those people on a major network. Like, did I mention that already? That the network itself says that no reasonable person should believe what he says.
And he's raking in the millions.
He's making millions of dollars on a major network. This isn't some little, YouTube thing or a little online thing. A major network that the network itself says no reasonable person should believe what he says. Does that catch you maybe where you're like, whoa, wait a minute, that's the network I watch? That's pretty bad that I'm so obsessed with this guy and their employers say, if you're a reasonable person, you shouldn't believe what he says. Okay. You know what? I really feel like I need to get slammed. I need to drink now because this is just insane. Insanity. Insanity with deaths. Deaths over these people doing this.
Yeah.
Spewing these lies and people dying and dying. I don't get it. Hey folks, for those of you that are like that, you need to start thinking. You need to start analyzing things, because if you believe it's fake, you know what? I'm going to get together with my family today. My parents, my grandparents are going to be there. We don't believe in any of this, and a tragic end happens. There are consequences. The only ones that don't have the consequences are the ones pushing it. That's what infuriates me. That's what infuriates me. Where do they belong when they spew lies because they want to get reelected? I want to get those people that blindly follow to vote for me. I know I'm hurting people. They know they're hurting people. They know people will die that follow them, but they don't care. They have an agenda. My agenda is to keep myself and my family safe. And those crackpots that want to throw BS at me, yeah, that's not going to happen, because I have the ability to think. And I have the ability to also look at your track record of lies. When you have a track record of lies, like I had mentioned in the introduction, I follow patterns. I analyze everything. I look at everything. I look at patterns. When you lie 100% of the time, if you lied to me 100 times in a row, I think you're going to lie. Your 101st thing you say to me is going to be a lie as well, which will never happen because I've cut you out. I'm not watching this garbage. Not watching this garbage. And all I can do is try to encourage others to not fall for this. I don't want to hear any more about, my president told us this was a hoax, so my husband died because we believed it. Again, some responsibility falls on you. Believe a doctor or a scientist when it comes to that. If you need electrical work on your home, don't call a septic guy that pumps septic tanks. You call an electrician. You get your information from where it should come from. Because a doctor doesn't have a doctor's agenda is to help you, to save your life, to cure you. A politician is to just suck you in, to make you follow, to make you vote for them. So I just had to get this off my chest, because this is a problem. We have people dying. We have people dying still over this. It blows my mind. We have people over this. They won't wear a mask. Oh my God! No, taking away my freedoms. Yeah, this is taking away your freedom so you don't wear it. And then you're around your grandma, your grandpa, you infect them, and they're dead.
Died.
And they're dead because of you. Because of you. Because you believe BS. You know what? You know what I suggest for you? If you're one of those people that say this is a hoax and someone else in your family got infected and even died, own it. Own that. Because if you're so tough and you're so smart and you're the cause of someone dying because of you being irresponsible, own it. And if you like to think you're a man, okay, you know what a man does? When a man messes up, you own it. So make sure you own that. And if you don't want to live with that, then be responsible. We have to talk about this now. Why? Because we're living in this. Worldwide, this is a mess. This is a mess. We have a governor of our state who needs to go, because people are dying and getting sick over his BS, and I'm sick of it. We sit here talking about trying to help people with a mental condition, with mental illness. Okay, we're doing that, right? Trying to help those people. And you have these people causing deaths. Is that not worth mentioning?
Not to mention the state passed a rule to keep these schools from enforcing mask policy
Yeah.
on the students.
Yeah. We're going to try to
That's
protect our students.
horrible.
Oh, no, you're not. We're going to punish you if you do.
And they're gonna do it.
We're going to punish you if you try to protect your students. It's okay. Listen, it's okay. The kids can go to school, no mask, no nothing. Many kids come home, parents are working, grandma or grandpa watches the kids, and maybe one of them will die and get sick because they got infected from one of the kids. That's okay. You think the governor of our state or of these politicians care? They don't care. That's something you all need to understand. Most of you do that view us, because I know our audience. But for those of you that what politicians say is what you believe, good luck. Good luck in your life. Good luck. I just feel bad that you're going to cause damage to others. That is what bothers me, because you know what? If you want to be a fool and you only harm you, it's your life. It's your life. You're not harming me, because I wear this everywhere I go. I wear this when we're in bed. That and the Zorro mask. Sometimes
Oh my gosh.
that's for naughty time.
Zorro mask.
Well, it's better than wearing the Darth Vader mask. That would be pretty bad. This angers me. It angers me, and it angers many of us. Many of us. On Twitter, you go on Twitter and you just see people. I've seen people still tweet that this is a hoax. That this is a hoax. And what's the other? The vaccine is it's a communist thing. It's these conspiracy theories. Folks, you have to understand something. Some of these people that come up with these conspiracy theories, they're not nut jobs.
No, they're smart.
They're not nut jobs. They're fishermen. They're fishermen. They bait the hook, and they reel you in. And then they bring you on the deck, they grab the bat, and they just beat the crap out of you and beat the BS into your head. And then they'll throw you back in, and they'll catch you again, over and over and over. But it's funny that, a lab rat will go, right? They'll put a little bit of food there. Rat goes to it, gets zapped. Then the rat decides, okay, I'm not going to touch that because I got zapped once, so I know to stay away from that. But as human beings, okay, you've been lied to about this. You forget about it. You don't remember it. And you go to the same sources for them to lie. Because you don't have the ability to say, okay, that was a lie. I can see today, at the time I believe it, but now I see it's a lie. Over and over and over and over. But you keep doing the same thing. Keep doing the same thing. Because doing the same thing with a lousy result, or doing the same thing to try to have a different result, I don't have to tell you what that means. You know that. The definition of that, what that is. Right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. People are dying. Kids are even dying. And getting sick. Long-term issues. But it's a hoax to you. It's fake. I guess it has to hit home, right? Like that lady I said crying on TV.
Yeah.
Had to hit home. So now, when she's home eating dinner, her husband's not there anymore. Could have been, because if they'd have taken it seriously and protected themselves, hey, different story, right? They'd be in a different situation right now. I can't make people use common sense. That's up to you. It's up to you. You have to do that. But you've got to look at patterns. Like I've said, I've lived off of patterns. You've got to look at patterns. If you've been lied to repeatedly in a pattern, constantly, at some point, when do you say, that's it, no more? I'm going to listen to doctors and scientists about medical issues. If you want to listen to politicians, you can listen to politicians about politics and lies, because if you're an honest politician, you're pretty screwed. You're not going to last. You're just not. They'll eat you. They'll chew you up and spit you out. Unfortunately, that's what it is. We'd like to, I'd like to give a shout out to a friend of ours on Twitter, to Renee. Hey, you've always been so supportive. always been so supportive to us and others. And you're one of the kind ones on Twitter, and I always acknowledge that, how people like you, we always want to say, hey, thanks so much for what you do for us and everyone else.
Yeah.
How kind you've been. And hope you're in the same state I am. Hope for you it's not as hot as it is here. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's,
so hot. It's gross.
I mean, it is just
It is
amazing.
gross.
Now, I was thinking, we've done, obviously we're going to talk about depression and a lot of other things, but we've posted series on cyberbullying and bullying because it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
You have experience with that in your past, right?
Yeah.
I bet next week you talk a little bit about that and share about that. Share some information. You okay with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, don't get overexcited
Well,
here.
no, that's fine.
Because I can't get into that because I don't have the experience in that.
Yeah.
So, someone who knows about that should be the one speaking about that. And that's a big thing.
And it's a huge thing.
And it's not just kids being bullied, okay? Let's understand that. It's not just
No,
kids.
it's not. Not
just
at
children.
all.
It's tragic no matter what.
Exactly.
Because the way I see bullying is this. Life is hard enough.
Yeah.
Life is enough. Life will throw enough at us.
It is detrimental.
You don't need other people attacking you.
No.
So let's talk about that. And I'm going to talk a little more about panic attacks next week too. Just don't want to do it all in one shot because, like I said, I don't want to have a panic attack talking about it. So next week we'll be back, and we would just wish you all the best. And
Absolutely.
if you can please follow us on Twitter.
And give us a like.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, and
Give us a like.
give us a like.
Yeah.
Okay? And listen, folks, kind of maybe got a little bit off track, but I apologize, but I think sometimes things need to be said. So thanks for watching.
Take care.
And be well, and things are going to get better. Bye-bye.